So, good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again with another transfer update as we go in to the penultimate day of the transfer window. Loads and loads of speculation, loads of stories popping out of nowhere. Loads of deals are going to get done. Loads of deals of players that nobody knew were linked to any clubs out there, and then bang, done deals. There's going to be deals that don't happen. It's going to be super exciting. One player we are linked to is Fresneda. And we're going to talk about this young man in a second. Before we do that, make sure you are smashing the like button up. Press the share button. Share it as far and wide as possible. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Big up to everybody who is subscribed. If you want to leave a donation, you can do that via the thanks option. So just hit thanks, write whatever you want, put the amount, bosh, job done. Don't forget, I am live at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Then at 5 p.m., I'm back again with the Real Talk podcast with Kenny and Jez. And we're going to be talking about the transfer window. We're going to be talking about the FA Cup. We're going to be talking about the league game against Everton at the weekend. And then I'm on with Dan Potts. And then I'm on with Henry Wright. Then you're getting another transfer update. The work rate don't stop. We're moving. Big up to everybody inside. But we are going to talk about Fresneda. Fabrizio Romano has claimed that Arsenal are one of two clubs leading the race for Ivan Fresneda. The transfer insider spoke to Gimme Sport about the state of play involving the Gunners and the Rayo Vallecano gem. Arsenal have been heavily linked to him over the past few weeks. Metro recently reporting that both the Gunners and Borussia Dortmund are on the right track for signing him. Both clubs have apparently agreed a fee of £13.1 million, which is 15 million euros roughly, with Valladolid for the right back. Arsenal and Dortmund have reportedly both agreed personal terms with the player. However, Marca have reported that Fresneda is leaning towards the switch to Germany. Fabrizio Romano believes that it's now up to the player to decide where his career next step takes him. He said, let's see how it will progress, he told Gimme Sport. The player has to decide. It's really important to understand what the player wants to do. I am told that the German club is also moving behind the scenes for him. But now Borussia and Arsenal are the only two leading the race. Now, listen, Cedric Suarez, let's move on to him very quickly because this all ties in, is reportedly close to leaving for Fulham. With that in mind, Mikel Arteta needs to bring in someone as cover for Ben White. Although we do have Tomiyasu, Cedric is in the twilight of his career and deserves to go out and get regular first-team football. Fresneda would fit perfectly to replace him. He's an incredible, talented player. AS outlet previously deemed him one of the biggest prospects in European football. Given his age, he most likely won't mind biding his time initially. He can learn from Tomiyasu and Ben White and initially start out with some cup games and league cameos. Then, once he picks up more knowledge and experience, his role can develop to that of a regular starter. Now, listen, I've seen a lot of people hyping this kid up. And I've seen a lot of people saying, yes, go and get him, loan him right back out, straight back out, loan him out, which is something that apparently Arsenal don't want to do. They don't want to loan him out. They'd rather sign him, keep him, get him under Mikel Arteta's work rate underneath the squad and get him bedded in as quick as possible, because then going into a Champions League campaign next year, which it looks nailed on that we're going to, we've now got another player up and running. Kieran Tierney is linked to a move away. So now we could put Tomiyasu as a backup left back to Zinchenko. We see that he played there against Liverpool, stopped Mohamed Salah doing anything, albeit Mohamed Salah has been having a poor season, but he did pocket Mohamed Salah. And Tomiyasu is the ultimate versatile utility man. He is the James Milner of Arsenal. He can play anywhere. But the signing of Fresneda for 13.1 million, I think, listen, it's a bargain if we're being honest, if he's going to hit the heights that everyone's saying. In a market that is super inflated, massively inflated with transfer fees, to go and get a player that is 13 million, I think could be a bit of a bargain. So, I don't know. I've not watched a great deal of him. Yes, I do watch Spanish La Liga football. I get that on my DAZN. But at the same time, I can't say is that I've watched a great deal of him. And I'll tell you why I haven't watched a great deal of him, because he's barely played. So when people are banding around, he's one of the brightest young prospects in world football. Well, he's played less than 850 minutes of football this season in what is his standout breakout season. He's averaged 76 minutes in his 10 games in La Liga, and then he's averaged 68 minutes. Well, sorry, I'm lying. Yes, he's averaged 34 minutes in his Copa del Rey campaign, 766 minutes over 10 appearances in La Liga, 68 minutes in 2 games in the Copa del Rey, totaling 834 minutes over 12 games, which is what, about 70 odd minutes a game. Now, the reason everyone's so hyped about him within our fan base is not because they watch him, but because he pocketed Vinicius Jr. Okay, they lost the game. Vinicius got an assist, I think, in that game. But there we go. But he is a young lad. He is only 18 years old, just turned 18 years old. And if we and Borussia Dortmund are in for him, then I think he's now got a decision to make. Does he go and play straight away for Borussia Dortmund, which he may have more chance of doing, or does he come to Arsenal, who are competing for a title with a team that is better than Borussia Dortmund's, and you're not going to get first-team football, which is, let's be real, he's not really getting first-team football at the moment. He's kind of in and out at Rayo Valladolid. He'd be doing exactly the same as Arsenal. He'd play some under-21s games. He'll play some Europa League. He'll come on as a sub in a few games, etc., etc. And he'd be more one for the next season, more than this season. So he's got a decision to make. Does he go to Borussia Dortmund and continue his development in a team that he probably will get chances in? Or does he come to Arsenal and sit on the bench, get embedded in with the squad, not necessarily play so many games? Up to him, I suppose. But listen, for 13 million quid in a market that is massively inflated with transfer fees for bang average footballers, if he is as good as everyone says he is, or can be as good as everyone says he can be, then 13 million quid could be an absolute steal and an absolute bargain, couldn't it? So it's kind of a no-brainer. You know, you're always buying a player. It's always a risk. It's always you're buying them on potential and what they can do going forward at that age in terms of their career and their development. And if you back yourself as a football club and as a manager and a coaching staff to produce the quality that the player possesses and flourish with that player, then 13 million is a no-brainer. It's a bargain. Why not do it? I do think that this is one where, again, it'll go down to the deadline day, probably the 11th hour, etc., etc. Again, there is Dortmund saying that they could potentially loan him straight back as well. So maybe we'll sign you. You can come and be our first choice next season, but we'll loan you back and you can carry on your development in Spain for the rest of this one. That might be something that appeals to him more than Arsenal saying, well, actually, no, we're not loaning you back. We're going to get you now and you're not going to play a lot. After he's played, maybe he wants to carry on playing. I don't know. So listen, the ball probably is in his court, but to have Borussia Dortmund and Arsenal in for you, and Dortmund do have a good track record of signing young players. So maybe he is the young, bright spark that people are saying he is. Again, like I said, I've probably seen him play twice, and it is what it is. But listen, I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on that one. Obviously, Cedric Suarez is likely to be going to Fulham. That'll probably go through either later today or on deadline day, but I think that will happen. And he'll probably get first-team football down there as well. And good luck to him. He probably wasn't good enough for Arsenal in the first place, but he hasn't really done anything stupid or bad over the time he's been here. So yeah, if he goes to Fulham, good luck to him. He can link up with Bernd Leno, Willian, get the old band back together. But let me know your thoughts on Cedric Suarez, Ivan Fresneda. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. Go back and check out the previous videos. I'll be back live at 1 p.m. So make sure you come and check that out. Hopefully by then, I'm recording this on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So hopefully by then, there will be a Caicedo update. Maybe the second bid has been accepted. Maybe a third bid's gone in. Maybe it's a done deal by the time I go live at 1 o'clock. So make sure you come and check all of that out. Don't forget, leave your donations down below if you want to. Make sure you sub to the channel, subscribe, share the content around, thumbs up the video, and make sure you come back and check out the stream later on today. So have a wonderful Monday, whatever it is you're doing. And yeah, we're out of here. Adios, amigos. Big 2 days left of this transfer window. Ciao.